So we are in BT Sport Production Hub in what was the old IBC building for the Olympic Games. So the IBC is the International Broadcast Centre. I was involved here at the time, so I was the head of production for the BBC for London 2012. After the Olympics, I left the BBC and joined BT Sport as the Chief Operating Officer. And we wanted to look at what we could do that said we're in this for the long haul and we want to demonstrate to our audience that we're serious about sport. So we identified absolutely very early on we needed a production hub to be able to do that. So we needed studios, we needed galleries, we needed production capability. This building is phenomenal and it's got 30-foot high ceilings and it's got very few support posts and it was a real blank canvas. So we were very excited about the prospect of being able to build studios from scratch. Now the challenge with that is you normally have 4 years and we built the whole 86,000 square foot infrastructure in 18 weeks. Which includes the biggest TV studio in the UK, so it's 14,500 square feet. It's 3 studios in one studio, which if people watch BT Sport, it's where we, in one studio, broadcast on 3 different channels with 3 different programmes within one space. In the heart of East London, where there is a huge abundance of talent and digital infrastructure and tech innovation companies as well. It's the biggest scale thing I've ever done. One of the things that for me, and we talk about this a lot, if it hadn't been for the Olympics, and that can-do attitude and the success of the Olympics, I don't think we'd be here today.
And in terms of the people that work here?
What we've done here is created a production village, so we work with external production partners. We have Timeline, who provide our engineering production support. We have Move for the graphics providers for things like Sports Personality of the Year. So what we did, which I think is a huge success for BT Sport, is we created a village. When everyone comes in here, they all work for BT Sport, they all work on our infrastructure, but it enabled us to launch at scale straight away. And then I was able to build my own production teams, so things like Champions League coverage we do in-house with our own production teams. And that's within the 130 core staff, but on site in any one day that can go from 130 to 400 or 500 people depending on what's going on our output.
Can you see any changes that you've experienced over the past few years?
I'm really excited about being in this area because of what the local community offers, and I think for me this is the last bastion of what London really is, which is around that huge diversity, the transient nature of the people here, the artistic and creative elements within Hackney Wick and Stratford and Newham. So for me it was a perfect place to launch something new and innovative, which is BT Sport, and to start looking at how we become part of that community.
So would you say you have quite a few staff who are local?
We have more and more staff that are local. So the real challenge when you launch something to the scale we launch is you have to bring in people with experience. So you can't do that by postcode. You have to find the right people. But we've worked very hard since launch to make sure that we advertise new roles through things like Hackney Ways to Work. We launched an apprenticeship scheme that targeted the 5 boroughs. We brought 6 people in through that mechanism that have now been transitioning into full-time employment. We're going to do another 6 we're announcing shortly. We absolutely have people who have relocated here as well to be within that, and I think we are making great guns in how we transition from launch phase into business as usual.
How do you feel about this particular location?
Well, Hackney Wick Station is just across the canal, so you can walk there within 5 minutes. I still live in Chiswick. The train from Richmond is 55 minutes door to door, and you're across the canal and you're here. Stratford Central is the best connected place in Europe. You've got the Crossrail coming in next year. You know, we've delivered on a legacy here that's never been done before in Olympic Games. Never before has an IBC within less than a year been a live TV broadcasting operation or any sort of business. I quite like the open spaces at the moment. I like the iconic buildings that were there for 2012. I shudder slightly at seeing the swimming pool, for instance, being surrounded by tall buildings. I understand the need for housing. I think there's a really fine line, and I think, you know, parks are what make London, and hopefully that balance will be struck.
Do you feel you've been or could be an influence for other companies that are coming into the area?
I think you only have to look at what BT Sport has done. We invite people in all the time to look at our facilities, where we can support other organisations coming on board. Actually, I think we can. You go for a beer in Hackney Wick, you're surrounded by creativity, and you've got the canal going down by the side of you. It's really inspirational and it's really exciting, and I don't think people quite understand how that conveys all the way through to our on-air output.